Hey, happy Saturday. Also happy belated Thanksgiving for y'all. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Ate a lot of turkey, ate some good food. I'm over here pouring some tea. I actually am sipping tea. I love tea. It's funny, I hear a lot of channels talk about that, like figuratively or whatever, but like I drink tea like every day. So for those of you who are on, please get the likes up. So I was sent this video earlier from a popular YouTuber, I am Aloho. She has many followers. I may actually do another review for her, kind of like I did for Cynthia G and Real Talk with Yanni. I may sit down and just listen to her content because looks like she's really popular, has a lot of things to say. So I'm curious and excited to learn more about her. But anyways, I will send this video. And she's talking about pick and I had to get into this because you already know that, early on into the space, I got termed a pick me, and that term has taken on a whole life of its own. And it also has just so many different definitions of its own. So, anyways, I want to hear what she has to say about pick me because, like I said, she has a pretty large following and has a lot of influence. And yeah, I'm just here to check out her video. So, full disclosure, I have not seen this video yet. So, this is just my first reaction to it. And we're going to talk about it. If you were on, like I said, please get the likes up, tag anybody on this discussion who you think may find it interesting. Also, if you would like to show some support, you can find me on Cash App or Venmo, Shay Charday. I'm going to pull up the video and we will move forward. Okay. Also, if you guys didn't hear, I'm so excited. I'm gonna be having a collab with Chantel Simone, Danica Marie, and Reva TV this Monday. So definitely, if you haven't heard already, check out the community tab, hit the notification to that video, and definitely tune in because we're going to be talking about a whole lot of different stuff. It's going to be fire. I'm excited. And let me see. Okay. So I'm gonna just play this video and we are going to see what it's about. Like I said, this is my first time I was sent this, but yeah, we're gonna see what she has to say. Oh, looks like it's on mute. So let me unmute it so we can actually hear what she has to say. Okay.
Team Natural Body. Natural Body still getting likes out here. Men still want women with natural bodies. Like, is anybody natural anymore? All of these fake bodies. Welcome to my channel, motherfuckers. Hey, happy early Valentine's Day.
Pro Black
It's a day of love. I know it's the day before Valentine's Day, but I had to drop this pick me video. So
okay, real quick, my personal opinion, men have always liked natural bodies. As far as from my understanding, as far as wifey material, men have always preferred natural bodies. Now, here's the thing. There is a difference between a woman, there's a difference between like a wife and a hit it and quit it. And I think what some females don't understand or women don't understand is that just because a dude will give you attention or just because you can get likes on Instagram does not necessarily mean that that dude is trying to wife you up. And I think there is this a lot of times there's a misunderstanding that like females who get a lot of attention, females who may even get attention from rich dudes, dudes that may have money or whatever, they're thinking, oh, that means that I'm wife material. That means that, I am competing with all other women, who are wife material. And that's not always the case. Like I said, there's a difference between a wife and there's a difference between a hit it and quit it, right? Or there's a difference between a woman who's just, like smash and dash, however you want to say it. There is a distinction. And I think sometimes women, they get fake bodies, they'll get plastic surgery, getting all these things, thinking like that's going to attract a real husband. And what they don't understand is that, yeah, you're going to get more eyeballs. You may get more dudes who may want to, you know what I mean? Like take you out on a date or, have a one night stand or whatever. But that does not mean that that dude is trying to wife you up. There is a big difference. So I'm like, I know we're a few seconds in, but I just wanted to say that because I hear that a lot where females will be like, oh, well, I have no problem getting attention. I have no problem getting dates. I have no problems X, Y, Z, A, B, and C. And it'll always be the females who don't have a ring, who aren't married. And it's like, okay, so if you're so successful in relationships and you want to be married, you're bragging about all these situations that these dudes was coming after you, then why didn't any of them work? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, just because you get work done does not mean that you're about to be somebody's wife. Now, I'm not saying she said that, but like I said, that was just my first thought. Anyways, for those of you who are on, please get the likes up, tag anybody on this discussion you think may find it interesting. I'm just going over this this video that was sent to me from I Am Aloho. She is a popular, it looks like she said she was a pro-Black beauty influencer. So I'm probably going to be doing I'll probably personally look more of her content. I may actually do a review like I did with Cynthia G and Real Talk with Yanni. But yeah, we're just going to go over it.
I asked you guys if you wanted my opinions and viewpoints on pick me shit, okay? And I was like, yeah, let's talk about it. So today we're going to talk about it. Now,
okay.
I do want to start the video by saying this. Most women at some point in time has been a pick-me-sha, okay? We've all been. It just is inevitable, right? We do live in a patriarchal.
Y'all, I'm still a pick-me. I never left. I never stopped being a pick-me. I never stopped being a pick-me-sha. Like I said, I wear that term with pride because I don't see anything wrong with being picked. Because like I said in my previous videos, every single woman wants to be picked. Unless women, by and large, are willing to get down on their knees and propose. Which they're not. Most women are not. They want to be picked. So by definition, women who want to be picked are a pick-me. So like I said, I wear that with pride. But continue.
Misogynistic society. So some of the things that we're taught, we truly digested these thoughts and these actions. And so to a certain extent, it's not always our fault, but we do have to do the work. And if you are a woman who is about women empowerment, you just have to do the work to check yourself and make sure that you're not also perpetuating this pick-me behavior. Okay, so we're gonna break down pick-me behavior.
Okay,
we're gonna talk what it is, and we're also gonna talk about what it's not. I have seen the term pick me kind of misused and abused, okay,
right.
Ladies. So hopefully this video can give a little bit more clarity.
That's good. I'm curious to see what she has to say about it because like I said, in my experience, pick me has come to mean any woman that is openly, or any woman who does not hate men. If I did a post today that says, hey, I don't hate men, then I would by definition be a pick me. So in my life, anecdotally, pick me has come to mean any woman that does not hate men. Within the Black YouTube space, specifically a Black woman that does not hate Black men. Now, if you were a Black woman and you're a pick me for a white dude, ain't nobody got anything to say about that. If I'm a pick me for Korean dude, Asian dude, Latin dude, whatever, ain't nobody got nothing to say about that. But if you are a pick me for a Black man as a Black woman, oh, the hellfire you will receive. So in my experience, that's what it's come to mean. But I'll be curious to see what she has to say about it. Anyways, for those of you who are on, please get the likes up. Tag anybody on this discussion who you think may find this interesting. I am just reviewing this video from popular, I think she calls herself a pro-Black YouTuber, I Am Aloho. And we're just seeing what she has to say about the term pick me. As, like I said, that has been a constant trending topic in my life in particular. Let's see.
As to what being a pick-me is, what being a pick-me isn't, and how we can all be delivered, okay, from pick-me.
I can't.
Now, ladies, I know we're all a fan of the Nutty Cosmetics. Well, Bae can definitely be a fan too. The Nutty Cosmetics is a Black-owned unisex natural skincare line.
Okay, I'm just looks like that's I'm a student.
African American vernacular English, and honey, thank God for it. Okay, we needed a word to describe what y'all be out here doing. And let me say this, wanting to be picked, right? And this is from a heterosexual woman's standpoint. There's nothing wrong with wanting a good man.
Right.
All right. That's what we want, right? We do
Of
want
course.
that. There's
Of
nothing
course.
wrong with wanting a good man. There's nothing wrong with one day wanting to get married and wanting a family and, a good family structure, a good family dynamic. That's the goal. Okay. This is what we want here. This is, yes, we bring it on. Being a pick me is not someone who says, well, I want a man. And, yeah, it's not that.
So I appreciate her actually saying that because I agree. But unfortunately, as I mentioned before, in my own anecdotal experience, I'm gonna just say this. I feel like Black women who are open about desiring a Black man are called pygmies, or by definition are they get like negatively looked down upon, like just straight up. As I said before, and this is, like I said, this is what I've observed, this is what I think. If a Black woman is open about wanting or desiring to be picked by a non-Black man, then there's not as much, you're not going to get as much hate. But if it's specifically a Black woman that's wanting to be picked by a Black man, I think there's more negativity associated with that. And I think that's where you start to hear the pick me terms. I'm saying this specifically just based upon my own experience. So I can't say this is for everybody else, but like I said, on me, that's what happened. I came on the YouTube space not even really hearing the term, not even know what it was about, me just talking about my experience, me talking about, my love for my husband, just different things like that. And like then I got I got all kind of stuff. Now again, I consider it a compliment. Like I said, I can consider it a compliment to be hated by man haters, because I'm like, well, great, then maybe you're threatened by something that I have, I don't know. But I said all of their advice to Black American women is dangerous. Wait, what do you mean? Do you mean like all advice from pygmies? Are you talking about all advice from women who like hate men? Um okay, so this is just that I'm having a hard time listening to these type of women. They're so toxic. Okay. So I'm just looking for these comments. Okay, anyways, we're gonna continue. I want to hear more of what she has to say about defining a pick me. I think that's gonna be interesting.
Pick meism comes into play here
Pick-meism, okay.
On your road to getting that man, right? On your road to that man, what are you doing? All right. Okay. Are you throwing other women under the bus? Are you shaming other women because they have different lifestyles, different religions, different occupations, different practices, different mindsets than you? That is where the pick me comes into play. Okay. It's not wanting a man. It's wanting a man so badly, so desperately that you're willing to shame other women for things that they do to garnish the attention from that man. And 9 times out of 10, you're attracted to toxic masculinity. You want a toxic man, okay? I'm working on using the N-word. Someone told me down in the comments, Elaho, you say the N-word a lot. I'm sorry that y'all, like, yes, I am a unicorn, but I'm a unicorn from Brooklyn, okay? We working on ourselves.
Okay, looks like there's an ad coming through. So
Squarespace is a one-stop shop that helps me set up my online store easily.
For a second.
All right, ladies, now I got some great news.
Let's you got another ad. So again, so far I agree with her. I agree, I think, with maybe I agree with I don't want to call it the textbook, but with the Urban Dictionary, because Urban Dictionary has a definition of pick me. So I agree with what she's actually saying. I would never promote a woman trying to get a man's attention at the expense of throwing somebody else under the bus, or just not having good character, because like I said, what is that going to show about you long term? If you're willing to just be immoral, or if you're willing to just just not have any moral compass in your pursuit of a man, then how are you, like, what is that going to say about your ability to maintain him? Are you going to have morals throughout your relationship with him? Like, do you have conviction? Do you have a good heart? Like, do you have character? Like, to me, once you've gotten that man's attention, or you've gotten a ring or whatever, you still have to actually have the qualities necessary to maintain that relationship. And so again, off of the technical definition that she has as a pick me, I'm like, okay, I can agree with that. A woman who was willing to throw people under the bus, yada yada yada. The challenge that I have is that the way I see it used most often is to shame women who are okay and open with, sharing positive things about men. You know what I mean? Or sharing positive, showing love or adoration to men, especially within like the Black YouTube space or just the Black social media space, period. Especially if it's a Black woman doing anything positive for a Black man, that's when I feel like that term just gets overused and overblown. So said she was going good until now. Good night to the chat. I'm seeing some comments come through. Again, if you were on, please get the likes up, tag anybody on this discussion who you think may find this interesting. I'm just doing a review of I Am Aloho, who is a popular YouTuber. I was sent this video earlier this week, and I wanted to just hop on and give my take on it. This is my first time reviewing her video. So this is just my first reaction to it. And again, she is talking about pick-me's, her understanding of pick-me's, what it means, all that kind of stuff. So again, I wanted to address this because you already know that I'm getting called this every 2 seconds. It seems like every single video I get a pick-me comment and Mamisha, all that kind of different stuff. So I'm just curious to hear what she has to say about it, because again, she is a popular YouTuber. She has a lot of female followers. She's, I think, a beauty influencer. So I think hearing her take on this pick me term is worth me understanding.
Jada's Luxury Beauty
Supply.
I'm gonna just
Cocoa
Black
fast
Naturals
forward.
and
This
have
is
stock their number one
ad.
product.
Okay.
Because these are the rhetoric that you're spewing into the atmosphere to get that man is toxic. Let's just say what it is. Now, men have also perpetuated this pick me behavior. Okay, they will cheer you on, they will celebrate you, they will say, yeah, you're the type of woman that we like, and they need to be like you. They are the batteries in your backpacks, okay, and your jet packs. They are the batteries. They are gonna put that battery on your big old bag. They're gonna pack that bag with some batteries, but pick-me's will never win. And then we're gonna talk about that in this video as well. So there's different categories in which I see pick-me's just thrive.
Well, okay, so I'll have to continue to watch because I'd skip through the ad. She said something interesting. She said men promote pick-me behavior. I don't know that I agree with that. I'll have to continue to listen to get the full context. My first thought is I don't know if I agree with that. I think, well, okay, I'll say this. If you are a toxic woman that is going after a toxic man, then yes, a toxic man is going to encourage a toxic woman to do toxic things because they themselves are toxic. So that's a whole separate category. But if we're just talking about a woman who is, healthy or has a semblance of health, right, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and a man who reflects that, I don't think a good man isn't gonna want a woman to, like I said, not have any morals, act any kind of way that's going to be crazy. A good man is not going to want that or celebrate that. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know that I can just say that men generally like pick-me, or no, I'll say this, that men generally are going to encourage bad behavior. I don't know that I agree with that. Now, what I have seen as of late is men, starting to support women who they feel don't hate them, or men who are starting to support women who they feel are more balanced, because there are so many channels right now, or there's so much content out there that is specifically male hating, misandrist, and there's money to be made off of hating men, especially among the Black community. There is a ton of money to be made off of damning and hating on Black men. Like, that is just, I didn't know it was a thing. I really didn't, but like I said, I've learned this, unfortunately, the last few months, that if I made this entire channel about just hating Black men and how bad they were, I would probably have 15 times the amount of followers that I have right now, because there's a market for it. So because of that, because I'm seeing that trend, I think, in response, you're starting to see men start to encourage or men start to follow women who don't hate them, who just try to be more balanced, who try to be like, okay, yeah, there's issues among Black men, but there's also issues among Black women. Like, how can we work together? So I, in particular, am starting to see that. But like I said, I'm gonna have to continue to read on more before I see what she's talking about. Thank you for this super chat. I see Elihu is a pro-Black men hater. Jesus, make it make sense. Had to inscribe for her. She's a sisterhood apologizer. Okay, so like I said, this is my first time reviewing her. I want to listen to some more of her content to just try to get more of an understanding of what she's about. And I might do something similar I did with Cynthia G, Real Talk with Yanni, where I listened to a few hours. I'm like, okay, here's my thoughts on it. So I can't really speak anything on her channel just because like this is my first time really getting acquainted with her, but I'll follow up with y'all and let me know what I think. So far, I mean, it's too early for me to say. I see 2 dislikes. The haters gonna hate. It says, not I'm projecting the YouTuber. I am Aloha is another bitter Betty. Okay, so y'all seem to have some really strong thoughts about who she is or just her page. Like I said, I might just go and do some more research on what she is about before I come to any conclusions, because I don't know. I'm not really familiar with her as much, but she has a pretty strong following. Seems like she's deep into the beauty space. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'll probably do a more of a deep dive on her channel. But beautiful woman, and I know she claims to be pro-Black, so we'll see what that means.
Like they're breeding and they're multiplying. Like there's a few categories, and I wrote them down, but there's a few categories in which I see pygmies really thrive and breed, and it's just, I can't sit with y'all can't sit with me either. But again, like I said, nobody's perfect. We've all operated in some form, some shape or form of pygmyism. Now I'll start with sex work. Me growing up in a Christian household, when I tell y'all I lived in church, okay, I was in church every single day of the week, all day long. And being Christian, modesty is taught when it comes to being a Christian woman, right? So, a lot of religious women, not just Christianity, religious women in general, they do believe in modesty and women, maybe refraining from sex and, women being holy and wholesome. So they naturally will have these views against sex workers, right? And so we see the rise of OnlyFans, of the strippers, of, the girls just showing ass on Instagram and Twitter, right? And real life example, I'm sorry, I gotta say it, but Mrs. Aisha Curry, honey, all right? Remember when she tweeted about women being modest and, oh my God, like I don't understand Instagram girls, posting your bodies on Instagram and She recently kind of posted some, I would say, tasteful nudes, right? And this is something that you would have not expected from this woman because, again, some years back, she was like, yo, y'all chicks need to be modest and need to dress like me. And, maybe you can keep a man or get a man if you're more covered up. Again, what good does that get you? Speaking for men who don't always know what they want anyways, okay? Yes, people say women don't know what we want. And that could be true in some instances, but men don't know what they want either because at the end of the day, humans change. Humans change, which is why most men say things like, damn, I ain't never dated a big girl before, but, you different and, that shit really clapping, mom.
Okay, so she said a mouthful there. I wanted to try to get the full thought before I interjected. So I think from what I understand, I think she's basically saying pygmies do not necessarily look positive on maybe sexual freedom, sexual openness. And then from what I understand, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, she's basically talking about, look, women don't know what they want, men don't know what they want. Couple of things. I generally think mature men do know what they want. That's not to say there aren't young dudes out there who are, insecure or not figuring it out. But I generally think men, because men are a lot more simple, I think simple-minded when it comes to certain things, and they also process logically, whereas women, we process, our logic is emotional. Our logic is emotions first, facts later. Like, you can disagree with me or agree, whatever, but my personal opinion is that most women, our logic is first emotional, and then after that, facts, maybe. Whereas guys, I think they tend to process more logically first. And so I actually think most guys do know what they want. They just, in this modern context, if we're talking about relationships, if we are talking about finding a man trying to find a wife, many men just are not inspired. They are just not inspired by what they see. They are not interested. There's a lot of men who just have given up. And so I don't think there's ever been a man out there who's just like, oh, do I want a hoe or do I want a housewife? Do I want a woman who is promiscuous, who has a high body count? Or do I want somebody who's, a little more chaste or has a low body count? I don't think there has ever been confusion in men's head about that. I think men have always pretty much known concubine, wife. If we look at history, many different cultures, there's been a concubine class, there has been a wife class. This has happened for thousands of years. This idea of, okay, this is a woman right here that's worth marrying. This is a woman that's worth, raising my kids with, or she's going to take on my lineage, have my last name, my lineage, whatever it may be. How, because I know not all cultures take on last name, but you know what I mean? This is going to be my wife versus this is somebody who's on the concubine class. Like, that's existed in many different cultures for thousands of years. And so I think men do know the difference, and they do know this is what I want for a wife. This is what I want for a woman. This is what I want for maybe fun. But again, like I said, I think right now a lot of men are just uninspired. And I think too, there's just a lot of men who also are just like, I don't even want to enter the game. I see no value in marrying. I see no value in picking a partner long term. So I don't know that I fully agree with the idea that men generally don't know what they want in the context of relationships. I think many of them do. Again, I just think they're not necessarily seeing as much what they want. Now, as far as women, my personal opinion is that I think we are a little bit, honestly, I think we're more duplicitous. I think we're not honest with ourselves. We're not honest with ourselves. And so I think because of that, there can be more confusion because, okay, I grew up in an era, many women I know grew up in an era where we were told the Disney princess, the Prince Charming coming in. We all seen the Disney movies. We all seen the rom-coms. We've seen the videos. Like, so much of marketing and so much of movies was dedicated to women specifically, was geared to speak to women. And so, like I said, I think more so than men, we have kind of been programmed to want to expect certain things in relationships that are not reflective of reality. You know what I mean? In one instance, you want that fairy tale romance that you see on television in one instance, but then you also want that like athlete body in another instance, but then you want the prayer life of Russell Wilson, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I think women, because we are constantly bombarded with all these different things of like, oh, this is what your love should look like. You have entire conferences at churches dedicated to just that. Women, finding your Boaz, or you got books dedicated to just that, From the Wait, like just the promise, like all these different things that are basically telling women like, this is what you should look for in a man. But like, they're all so conflicting to my personal opinion. So like I said, again, I think we have a less understanding of maybe what we want, because we're constantly bombarded with these messages that are not based upon reality. Like, there's marketing dollars that goes behind that. Whereas I think men, just because they tend to process more logically, let's just be honest, the media is usually not in men's favor. Like, I think because of that, it's easier for them to know, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. But again, those are just my thoughts. So I see some comments coming through. Again, if y'all are on, please get the likes up. We're talking a little bit about Pick Me. Popular YouTuber I Am Aloho did this video a few months ago, and I was sent this video and asked to review it. So this is my first time really sitting down and looking at her content. I am planning on doing more of a deep dive because I see that she has a lot of influence. Looks like she has some really interesting topics. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about her channel and then, give my take on it. Okay, so I'm seeing some comments come through. I see, yeah, emotional intelligence. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna just head on hard inbox and just see what else she has to say.
Oh no, I may have to try a big girl, or I never really dated a dark skin girl before, but I don't know, it's the chocolate, it's the melanin, you know what I mean? Like, I just love it. You're just so deep, darkly ebony, like mahogany. Like what? What? That can be a whole topic in itself,
True.
because too much of that, I will say, is problematic, right? Like, what are we really saying? Is this empowerment or is it something else, right? So that's a whole nother topic that we can talk about. But in general, pick me's breeding, okay? I hate the word breeding. When it comes to the topic of sex workers, okay? They in their cores just feel like women who are on OnlyFans, prostitutes, strippers. Oh my God, they are so repelled behind this behavior, and they feel like those women are not deserving of a man, a good man. You know what the odd thing about the pick me behavior against sex workers is? It's, ladies, it's never gonna work in your favor. Okay, these niggas. Okay, I said that word. I'm sorry. These niggas like sex and they like sex workers. That's not gonna change. Okay, they might say that they don't. They might say that, oh, nah, I'm good. They might not marry her. We'll be honest with you and say, yeah, he might not marry a stripper, but he'll cheat on you with one. Like, I don't see the purpose. I don't see. He'll cheat on you with one. He'll follow them on Instagram. You look up his porn. If he watches porn, I don't see the benefit of shaming those women when it's supply and demand, right? These women provide sex to men who want to buy sex. So to me, I don't really see that. I had to learn and say, like, there's no point actually in shaming these women, because it's a market for them, right? They're not up here just all alone doing things, to themselves and entertaining themselves. No, men are tapped in. They want that. They do. So you shaming them and say, oh, you're whores, and you're this, and you're on OnlyFans. It's like, yeah, all of that is true, but baby, your man pay my bills. I'm sorry, ladies, that's a whole nother video. It's a bitter pill to swallow. It's a bitter pill. When you haven't done the work, like educate yourself on different fields and different topics and what these women actually go through, you'll find that you actually won't shame them. If you are someone who is genuine about women empowerment, which I am, I'll look at it like, it's times I'll go to the strip club, because I love strip clubs. Okay, it's times I'll go to the strip club and I'm having the time of my life, and it's times I'll go to the strip club and I actually feel bad. Like, I'm actually like, damn, like, is this something that she really wants to do? Because I do feel like just stripper culture and OnlyFans culture, it is so glorified, and that's what I meant earlier when I said, it could be problematic, because it is glorified. Like, you see these women, they talk about the money. They talk about the money.
Okay. So, okay. Okay. That was a lot to take in. So, okay. So yeah, I was right. So basically, from what I understand, she's saying, yeah, here is pick me behavior. Shaming women who are sex workers, shaming women who are who are sexually free on OnlyFans or whatever. I don't believe in shaming women. I don't believe in shaming tactics, period, because I don't think that actually helps a person. But I think it is good to have standards. It is good to have accountability, and it is good to have expectations and draw on the line and have boundaries. So, like I said, me personally, I have never liked stripper hoe culture. I will continue to not like it, and I will continue to speak out against it because I see it as damaging. There is no way I can say that I am a pro-Black woman, and then I see the Cardi B's of the world and the Meg Thee Stallions of the world, and all these beautiful Black women at the forefront of this whole stripper culture. Because the thing about it is, I don't see this in Chinese culture. I don't see Chinese strippers out there, rappers out there being promoted in the Chinese community backing that up. I don't see that among the Jewish community. I don't see that among the Indian community. Like all these other communities where they have their own strong cultural identity. They have their own way that they do things. We don't see them getting around behind strippers and hoes and being like, oh, well, this is empowerment. We don't see that. That's not to say that it doesn't happen. That's not to say there aren't their own issues or their own challenges, but it's like, I don't see that as empowerment. I don't see it as empowerment as, yeah, maybe you can make money, But what is that doing of the image of Black women? And that's the thing about it. In one instance, you can't cry in one instance about being objectified, about you not being protected, about you know what I mean, people not taking you seriously, about people not respecting you. You can't do that in one instance and then go and treat your body like it's just a toilet and just treat it like that has no value. You can't do that. Like, and I think that's, to me, one of the main issues I don't like stripper culture is because it is a devaluement of Black women. It is a devaluement of Black culture, as if there's not anything else we have to offer. Yes, as long as you have men out there who are willing to pay for it and women out there who want to do it, it's going to continue to happen. But I don't think I need to celebrate that and act like that's empowerment. It's one thing for you to, if that's how you want to make your money, okay. But I'm not celebrating that behavior as if we have progressed. I'm not celebrating that, because meanwhile, we can't do that and then wonder why Black women as a whole are not taken seriously across the board. We can't wonder about that. To me, I see them as intimately connected. So while I personally know women who have gotten caught up in that industry who have done it. To me, like, if you talk to those women, I don't think, now it's different, but I think generally for years, no one woke up and said, "Oh, I want to be a prostitute one day." Most women didn't do that. Now you got young girls following these rappers and whatever, and that idea may change because it's being shown as popular. But I think most time, for majority of human history, my idea is that no one woke up and said, "Oh, I want to be a stripper today." A girl at 5 years old wasn't saying, "Oh yeah, I want to be a prostitute. Yeah, I want to put myself in a situation where I have to sleep with a guy that I'm not attracted to, some old sweaty dude that got bad breath and needs Viagra, and I have to sleep with him to pay bills." But I don't think a young girl grew up dreaming about that. I think women find themselves in those situations, unfortunately, and they feel like they have no better option, and that's a way to make quick cash. And instead of me being told that, okay, I need to celebrate that now as if that's something to be happy about, I think we need to be honest about the fact that most women find themselves doing that because they have no better option. But how about we talk about what are the ways that we can do to help eliminate women feeling like they have no better option? So, okay, I see the super chat. Thank you. Is it psychologically, you chosen queens were never pick-me's due to being chosen, yet the pass-me's. They're both pick-me's and pass-me's and soon has-beens and never wears. Yeah. She says she should try sex work. She thinks it's cool. It says every whole culture needs whole politicians. That's aloho. Okay. He says white cult communities barely have whole culture either. Well, here's the thing. White culture does. White culture has some of the most, white people. They got Dusties. They got crazy baby mama culture. They got ratchet. They got a whole bunch of different ratchet crazy stuff going on in there in the white culture. They do. But here's the thing about it. They know how to cover that stuff up. They don't create movies and then patronize those movies to promote that image. The thing about it is Black culture, the mess that happens within Black culture, the different issues that we have, the different trauma, the different, all the different abuse, there's money to be made off of that. I can go to a theater and watch it. Those are the kind of movies that get Oscars, get awards. But for white culture, it's not necessarily like that because they don't like seeing that. There is a study that was done that I'd have to see if I can find it. But basically what it did is it was like, it did like a psychological test. And what it did is it looked at different scenarios and it tested, okay, how did white people feel when they saw white people being portrayed negatively versus how do they feel when they saw Black people being portrayed negatively? And they kind of went down the road. And what they showed was that there was a negative reaction that some of the white people in this study had. They had a negative reaction when they saw white people being portrayed negatively. But when they saw Black people being portrayed negatively, it was more neutral. And so it's like, again, these other cultures, they have issues. They have their own problems. Oh, best believe. But there's not money to be made off of that like there is seeing Black issues portrayed on the big screen. Seeing these promoters of these age-old stereotypes being promoted and being celebrated. That's what I'm saying. If me being a pick-me means that I am against whole culture, then I will happily wear that. I will buy a shirt I will wear that shirt. I will get it back. I will get cups made. I will happily embrace that because I am vehemently opposed to anything that is going to continue to degrade Black women and then tell me that I'm supposed to celebrate that. I'm not, no. Like I said, if you find yourself in a situation where you feel like you have got to sell your body and that is the best you can do, okay. Hashtag no judgment. Like, I'm not going to hate you as a person, but I'm also not going to sit here and celebrate and act like I should be happy that you are treating yourself like a garbage can. When I talk to those women, I talk to women who've ended up in that situation, and I know they are psychologically and emotionally broken. Don't sit here and tell me otherwise. Don't sit here and act like you can just have a dude passing through you over and over and over again, and that doesn't impact you psychologically. If that wasn't the case, why are so many women on drugs? Why are so many women over here dealing with depression? Don't tell me that does not have an impact. I don't believe it. So, like I said, I'm a pick me when it comes to that. I will embrace it. And no, I do not support. Not that I'm gonna hate these women, but I'm not gonna celebrate that behavior. Like, that's something to be happy about, especially when we see the other cultures that we may compare ourselves to, or other cultures that seem to have the control and power. We don't see them doing that. We don't see. I don't see a Chinese Cardi B or a Jewish Cardi B being celebrated, being promoted the way I do her, the way I do Meg Thee Stallion, the way I do these other beautiful brown skinned or Black women being promoted all the time. I don't see a white Lizzo going over there twerking, doing all this kind of different stuff. I don't see that being promoted. Not to say it doesn't happen. It absolutely does. But who is at the forefront? Who is leading this movement? Why is it always Black? Why is it always Black faces? Why is it always Black women? Or why are we being told that we have to accept this when I don't see anybody else accepting this? I don't see any other cultures. I don't see any other cultures embracing this as who they are. And it's stupid. It's like, is that all we think we can do? We can think all we can do is just be strippers? Like, we don't have any other value to us? Like, don't get me on a tangent. Y'all gonna get me on a tangent here. Okay. So, anyways, let me finish this.
The money. But they don't always give the negative sides of, working in some of these industries. And I think that if you are someone who works in that industry, it's important. Like, you have an obligation to tell other women, like, these are the pros, but baby, these are the cons. So I need you to weigh it out, right? Another category where I just see the pick-me's breeding and just I hate it. But another category where I see pick-me's just breeding is, how could I say this category? I'll just call it relationships, right? Under the relationship category, you will almost always find a pick me under this category. Okay, you find a lot of women speaking for men and shaming other women. Now, it's one thing to give advice, right? It's one thing to give advice. Like, let me say what a pick me is not, right? A woman that says, listen, ladies, I know you follow my page because I speak about femininity and I speak about, how we can really tap into our feminine side to really find, to really narrow down what man we want and how to go about getting that man, right? Versus, I know y'all like my channel because this is a femininity channel, and I'm going to show you how you can use your femininity to get the man that you want. Don't be like those other girls that are just super, super, super masculine. Like, men do not want a masculine woman. You don't want to be masculine like those girls. You want to be feminine like me. And I'm going to tell you, baby, you could give me advice without shaming the next chick. I'm just saying. You can do that. And it's also levels to being a pick-me when it comes to the topic of,
I agree with her that there is a way. I agree that there is a way to address a problem or to disagree with somebody without shaming or without berating another individual. I agree with her on that. I think the issue is, like, I've seen it done on both sides. I have seen supposed pick-me's be like, yo, like, I'm not messing with that. And I have seen the most masculine, pro-feminine woman, whatever, openly shame pick-me's. My personal opinion, I feel like I see it the other way around. I see it the other way around. I see women who feel threatened, or they feel like whatever, maybe they just don't like what they are hearing. oh, they are quick to throw those darts. They are so fast to do it. And so my personal opinion is that nah, like I don't feel like that's a pick me thing. I feel like that's just something that happens in the female space, period. And I do think that she's right that there should be a way to respectfully disagree with a person, because my personal opinion, women, like, if you're a human, you know what I mean? God created you, then there's a level of respect that needs to be associated with that. But I'm not gonna sit there and act like that don't happen on all across the board. I've seen a ton of divestors shaming certain kinds of females. I've seen a ton of Black female empowerment shaming. Like, I see that across all channels. So I don't know that I would say that is a pick me feature. I think that is just a feature of being on the YouTube space or just being in social media in general. Let me see. Oh no, pick me's holding women accountable for their BS. Plus, she just shamed women that a labeled pick me's. These women's cognitive dissonance is off the charts. Another thing I will say, we need to distinguish shaming between either having boundaries or holding accountable. However you want to say it. Me going and being like, look, if you never work out and you eat Twinkies and Snickers and pizza every single day for 5 times a day, you're probably going to be unhealthy. That's not shaming. That is not shaming. That is a fact. If you never work out and you eat junk food and processed sugar day after day after day, that's probably going to make you unhealthy. So if I say something that is just like a fact, or if I say something that's just like, this is just what it is, and you don't like it, that's not shaming. That's just you not liking it. And my personal opinion, is that we have created such a culture that women, like, we're almost used to just being, we're used to hearing what we want. And anytime we don't hear what we want, it's like, oh, why are you judging me? Why are you shaming me? And it's like, no, I'm not judging you and shaming you. If you want to be healthier, you probably should stop eating junk food. You probably should stop eating processed candy, and you probably should get active. This is not a shaming tactic. This is not, I am judging you. I see you lesser than. No, this is just common sense. And so I feel like the word shamed is it's almost overused. Shame certainly does happen. I agree. But just because you hear something you do not want to hear does not mean that you're being shamed. It may mean that, hey, this is constructive criticism actually meant to help you. This is why I believe so many people don't like Kevin Samuels. And many of the times when I hear somebody actively going against him, for example, Black women in particular, the first thing they say is, I don't like his tone. They rarely can they actually argue against his talking points. Rarely can they dismantle his talking points. Usually the first thing is just, oh, I don't like the way he says it, and his tone is off. So it's like you actually didn't hear what he had to say. You weren't able to take the meat, spit out the bones. You weren't able to actually take the constructive criticism and apply it to your life to get better. And that speaks to this idea that, like, if it doesn't emotionally coddle the ears, or if it's not like easy to digest, then we are so quick to dismiss it. And to me, that is not right. And that I think is one way actually to not get better. If you need to hear something always come in a package that you want, or if you are so used to being told what you want and you're not used to being held accountable, you're not used to being like, hey, no, that behavior isn't cute, I'm sorry. Or no, hey, actually, that is damaging to you. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to talk to a sex worker or somebody who's in the industry, and they talk to me and they're sharing that they have emotional challenges, they have different STDs, you know what I mean? They're having issues with some of their different female organ. I'm not going to talk to them being like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to love you and just try to do better. It's like, no, if they're engaging in a certain kind of behavior and then they're starting to experience physical repercussions in their body, I'm going to be like, hey, have you considered that maybe what you're doing is contributing to this, or maybe what you are doing is actually hindering you? Because if I really love you, I want you to do better. And sometimes you doing better is being like, what you're engaging in right now is not helpful. I've had plenty of people tell me things like that. I've had my husband be like, look, you're off there. I've had friends in my church, people be like, hey, like you need to reconsider this, because that's actually a part of developing. A part of developing and a part of getting better is actually looking in the mirror and being like, okay, maybe I am off here. And that is not a shameful thing. You look in the mirror and being like, I messed up. I did something that is wrong. That is not shame. To me, that's taking accountability. So again, for those of you who are on, please get the likes up. Please get the likes up. Tag anybody on here who you think may find this interesting. Also, if you would like to show some support to my channel, you can find me on Cash App or Venmo Shay Sade. You can also feel free to send in some super chat. So again, I'm just reviewing this video from I Am Aloha for those of you who just hopped on. She is a popular YouTuber in the space. And so I was sent this video a little bit early this week. And this is just my first reaction to it, y'all. I haven't listened to this video yet, so I'm just giving my first honest reaction, my first take on it. And I'm not as familiar with her channel, but I think I'm going to listen to some more of her content because she seems to have some really interesting topics on there. She has quite a big following. She's a beautiful Black woman, so I want to hear what she has to say. And I may, similar to what I did with Road Talk with Yanni and Cynthia G, I think I might actually try to do like a recap. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, y'all get the likes up. Okay, let's see. So let me pull the rest up.
Relationships, right? So we see a lot of pick-me saying things like, oh, I cook for my man, I clean for my man,
Okay.
He will never have to lift a finger, honey, because my man is the king of my castle and he will never have to lift a finger. I don't understand how y'all be having y'all men clean and cook a baby. Hold on, he is a king. Kings don't clean and cook. Hold on, relax, Holiday. And I will say something to that, right? Because there are women who just naturally love to cook and naturally love to clean. Those are not pick-me's, right? If you cook and you clean for your man, if you post pictures of, maybe dinner for your man or whatever the case may be, you run his bath water, whatever, however you cater to your man. I think catering is a beautiful thing. And there's nothing wrong with catering to your deserving man, right? Absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful thing. This is not being a pick-me. I do cook 3 times a day. I love cooking. I'm always in the kitchen. I cook about 3 times a day. So, my husband does get 3 home-cooked meals. He loves grilled salmon. So that's always on my, that's always on the menu. He always got some salmon in the freezer versus, yeah, my man get 3 home-cooked meals a day. You bitches can never. Baby, but why are you mad? See, here's my thing with pick-me's as well. They're usually upset. Now, are you mad because you have to cook those 3 meals?
Okay, that's interesting because I feel like I see it the other way. Like I feel like the women I find that are the most upset. Okay, so here's a profile, right, of the women who are the first to call me a pick-me. Generally, I don't see their face. I mean, you're gonna see a picture of like a flower or nothing. It's just gonna be an empty avatar. It's gonna have a name like, I Hate Men 321, or I seen when I was like Psycho Mammies 21. I'm like, so they got these like weird names, or nobody knows their name. I can't see their picture, and they got a whole bunch of different stuff to say. Now, here is the thing: women know. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, whether you want to admit it or not, women know that their social currency, unfortunately in this society, is their looks. That is their social currency. Men know that their social currency is their pocketbook. Like, no, I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying that can't change, but I'm like, just the way things are and the way things have been, women are generally valued by how they look. Men are generally valued by their accomplishments and their money. So for a woman to go on a space like social media and hide how she looks and hide her profile when she knows that that her value as a woman is how she presents herself. So it's like if she's hiding her value out the gate, I'm usually like, okay, like that's a little skeptical. Why are you doing that? Because even if you are married, even if you're not like a popular YouTuber, or you're not on social media like that, you're not trying to be famous. Like even if you're not, if you feel beautiful about yourself, about a woman, trust me, you're going to put a profile of yourself. profile of yourself. I'm not saying that you're trying to like, you don't have like a whole library or you have to have all these videos or whatever, but generally you're going to put a picture of your face if you feel pretty in the face. So like I said, out the gate, when I see somebody that's so quick to call somebody like me or whoever else a mammy or a pick me, and I don't know their name, I don't know their face, they're trying extra hard to hide their identity. I'm like, you don't feel comfortable. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, you actually don't feel comfortable about yourself, because if you did, then you probably would flaunt your looks, because women are valued by their looks. It is what it is. That's just, you can disagree with me. You can say that's wrong. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's just kind of how it is today. So that's what I'm saying. Like, pick me's mad. Like, I've seen it the opposite. I've seen it like literally the opposite. Women who are just like, oh yeah, this and that, like, ain't got no man. You can tell, because, and then follow that with, oh well, these dudes and yada yada, these dudes at A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. Oh, these men ain't good no way, or yada yada, like all this kind of different stuff. So they usually follow it by why men aren't good or why men aren't worth A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, a happy woman in a relationship is not going to say that. So I have actually seen that for the opposite. So it's interesting to me that that's what she mentions, but I'll continue to listen. I definitely think hoe-ish men are ruining society, but they are typically more valuable in the dating market, so the standards are different. Yeah, let's not act like there's not hoes out there who are dudes, because they absolutely are. That's always been the case. And like, total side note, I've said that I think partially women are to blame for the low standards that we have. They're the blame for those standards that we have, the low standards. I mean, there used to be a time where a man knew that in order for him to get in a woman's pants, 9 times out of 10, he had to put a ring on her finger. He had to romance her. Like, if you go back like in the 20s or whatever, 30s, it's like men knew that like they actually had to romance women in order to even get access to her. But since then, so many things have changed. Dudes don't even have to do that anymore. Like, there's so many women out there who are willing to just like give it up for free, or they can just, if they don't want to do it, it's like you can just buy a chick, you can just go OnlyFans. Like, I mean, we have made it, I think in an attempt to try to be sexually free liberated, we've made it so easy and so available for men to now just to get what they want without having to do all that kind of different work. So it's like, we can't now, I don't even know that we can necessarily complain now when a lot of guys don't want to do the work, when we're not even requiring it. You got a woman that got 3 or 4 kids from a dude that she did not require a ring from. She did not require like, hey, you need to marry me before you even start doing this stuff. She didn't require it. She can't even necessarily be mad that she don't have the ring. I'm not saying that that's right on for him to do that, but I'm also saying, well, human nature is to want to go the easy route. Human nature is want to try to take the easiest way possible. So again, if you put 0 requirements on a dude, you act like a wife, but you don't require a ring or whatever. It's like, then you can't be surprised when he acts like that, because you did not value yourself. You did not put yourself in a position where he's like, oh, I can't treat her like that. And like I said, there are some dudes out there who, if they are not interested, if they really just want to play around, they're gonna be like, your cost is too high, I'm going over there. But there are also men who, if they see the value of a woman, they're just like, oh, she's unique. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I want to work with her because she's valuable. I want to I want to, you know what I mean? I want to catch her because she's valuable. I want to pick her because she's valuable. So I don't know. Like I said, I've always said that I think one of the main issues we have right now is that it's on both sides, but I think partially we are to blame for the fact that men now don't necessarily have to work or do certain things they had to previously in order to get access to sex. And some guys are just like, look, as long as I get access to sex, I'm not trying to be married, because you ain't trying to be modern no more. You ain't trying to be traditional no more. Y'all over here talking about, oh, I got a job, I got a place, yada, 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 what I ain't got to do. You don't want to submission to you is like kryptonite. Like, so a lot of these dudes, they're not trying to wife up these females that way, because they're just like, y'all aren't even wife material. So as long as I get the sex that I need, I don't want nothing else. And like I said, I think that's what's created a whole lot of different stuff. But that's a tangent, y'all. That is a tangent. I see. Do you distinguish between promiscuity for attention validation versus professional woman, or you are just against both? I don't know that I understand. What do you distinguish between promiscuity for attention validation versus? Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Do I distinguish? I okay. So I personally am. I'm against both because the repercussions emotionally and psychologically and sometimes physically I think are the same. Now there's different reasons for it. Like I said, a woman who maybe she has a professional job or she's working on an office or whatever, but she's still sleeping around, that's still going to impact her on certain levels. Now it may not be to the level of a woman who day in and day in and day out is actually, sleeping with different dudes. Like it may not be to the level, but I think at the end of the day, they can still end up with the same result. They can still end up, psychologically broken, emotionally broken, or let's say even if we take that out of it, it's going to make it extremely difficult for any of those women in particular to want to get in a healthy functioning marriage and be satisfied. It's going to be extremely difficult. Now that's another conversation, but if you're a woman and you ran the field, right, and then now all of a sudden you want to try to settle down with one dude, that comes with baggage. Don't act like it doesn't. It absolutely comes with baggage, and it does for dudes too. So I'm not gonna act like that doesn't. I'm not gonna act like there's not going to be repercussions for anybody, having a ton of sex just freely. But I think women in particular, for you to live that lifestyle seeking validation, for you to just run the field and just act like, oh well, men can do it, so I'm going to do it too. That's going to weigh on you. That is going to weigh on you. It absolutely is. And like I said, that's another topic I might have to address. But yeah, so I think for whether you are a professional woman who just wants to sleep around and have a hot girl summer until you're 30, 40, whatever, or you are a actual sex worker, I think at the end of the day, it is damaging to yourself. It is damaging on different levels. And I do not promote it. I do not. And like I said, men, they're just gonna be like, we're gonna, your average man, if you say, hey, like, you want sex? They're not gonna say no. Now, of course, there are men out there who, they have certain convictions, but I'm just like, most dudes just like, yeah, like you give it to them on a silver platter, they ain't gonna say no. So it's like, I'm not saying that, men, don't have a part to play in some of this, but I think it's more like, well, ladies, this is what we wanted. We wanted sexual liberation. We wanted sexual freedom. We wanted the ability to go and do all these different things and express ourselves and make money off of our body while complaining about being objectified by our body. Like, make that make sense. How are you one instance being like, oh, well, he doesn't treat me, he treats me wrong, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm being harassed, I need to be protected. But then we're over here promoting the kind of behavior that are gonna get women abused. And I'm not saying that it is a woman's fault when she gets abused all the time. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, like, we have to recognize that our actions have consequences. Our actions have consequences. So if you are consistently in situations, right, that are unsafe and you don't have protection, you know what I mean? You aren't in a family, you don't have a husband, whatever it may be, then you're more likely to be hurt. And we can't act like we can't remove responsibility from our choices. So anyways, okay, I'm gonna continue. I said, yeah, professional women and sex workers should definitely not be in the same sentence. Right. I do think they're, like I said, obviously it's different. A woman who goes around and runs the field, right, is different than is different than a woman who is like actually gets paid. That is her profession. But I don't agree with any of them. I don't think it's like, so whether you get paid to have sex all the time or be a sex worker, I don't see that as good. I don't see it as good for you to be a professional woman and go around and have a whole bunch of different sex and have a high body count and then brag about it. I don't see that. Personally, I don't see that as good. Now, I'll say this. If you want to be a modern woman and you're like, I don't want to be married, I don't want to mess with these dudes, I'm just going to make enough money, right, to where I can take care of myself for the entirety of my life. not try to depend upon a dude for nothing, make enough money to have a retirement, have my own home, whatever. And I don't want to be under a man's rules. I just want to do me forever. If that is you, then okay. Like I said, that's a totally different conversation. And while I wouldn't do that for my own personal life and I may not recommend it, I'm like, if that's the choice that you want to take, then I'm not going to knock anybody for doing it. That is their choice. But if you were a woman and you're like, hey, I do want to one day have a family and I do one day want to have kids or whatever, then you cannot act like that behavior, sexual promiscuity for however long or short it may be, you can't act like that is not going to impact your ability to actually find a marriageable man. It absolutely will. And that, for me, that's why I'm like, those kinds of actions come with repercussions. Anyways, for those of you who are on, please get the likes up. Again, tag anybody on this who you think may find it interesting. Also, if you'd like to show support to the show, you can find me on Cash App or Venmo, Shay Sharday. Also, real quick, if you don't know, I'm going to be having a collaboration with this upcoming Monday with Danica Marie, Chantel Simone, and Reba TV. So I'm really excited. We're going to be talking about modern women, what they deserve. So definitely hit your notification buttons. Y'all get ready. It's going to be a really good conversation. Okay, so let me. Okay, we're getting there, man. This is
because honestly and truly, what I do for my man in our home, it brings me joy. Like it brings me happiness. So I'm not upset at what other women don't do for their men. I'm not upset by it. I'm not fazed by it. Hello, maybe the next woman, she's working all day long. Every relationship has its own rules. Every relationship has its own rules, and it's not your job or your responsibility to shame other people for what their rules, for the rules that are in their relationship. That is their relationship. It works for them. What's in your relationship, it works for you. That is okay. Nobody should be shaming nobody. I can't forget this one. So you have the good girl. So you have the alleged good girl pick me, but you also have the side chick pick me. Okay, I see the side chick pick me is thriving. Okay, and it's thriving. It's thriving because of the music. I'm telling you, it's in the.
Okay, so maybe I'm weird. Like I feel like if you're a side chick pick me, then you're not a pick me. You're just a certain kind of side chick. Because I'm like, to me, pick-me's actually get picked. Actually, when I'm saying, now the way I define it, getting picked is like, a man picked you. He's like, I want to make sure nobody else has you. You have that ring on your finger. You know what I mean? You guys are legally married. Like, he's like, you're mine. I'm taking you out of the dating market. So for me, I'm like, if you're a side chick pick me, then you're not a pick me. You are just a kind of side chick. My personal opinion. Pick-me's are actually picked. But I don't know. You guys agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. You say, why are black women the face? Oh my gosh. Why are black women the face of fighting tradition? Yo, that is another topic. That is a very good question. And that is an entirely different topic that I think I'm going to be touching upon in a few weeks. So definitely stay tuned, y'all.
Music, like you listen to the music today, and I mean, it's okay to be a side chick. It's okay to be sneaky.
I don't like it.
To be toxic.
It's not
sneaky links.
It's not
sneaky and sneaky. Just make sure you can fight. Make sure you can fight if you want to be a side chick. Just make sure you can fight. That's all I'm gonna say, because y'all praising it. And if that's what y'all want to do, that's what y'all want to do. But let me tell you something, baby. Baby, just make sure you can fight, okay? Right. The side chick pick me, it's not always talked about, but I'm going to call y'all out, okay? Because the side chick pick me is real as well. They'll say things like, this is why, damn, let me get one. I'm sorry, I'm not a side chick. I gotta think. Oh, I know I got one cocked and loaded somewhere. Okay. He'll say things like, I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be his wife because niggas don't really have fun with their wives. They come to me.
That's not a pick me.
I don't know how to say it. I'm so cool.
That's not a pick me.
But y'all know what I'm trying to say. Like, the side chicks have a lot of pick meism in them as well, because they feel like they're better than the woman that got the commitment. They feel like, listen, yeah, you got the commitment, but I get the best of him. I get everything else.
No, you don't. You don't get everything else. You're not legally married. You're not living in his house. You don't have access to his wealth. Maybe he will spend a couple $100s on you, maybe a couple thousand, depending on how wealthy he is. But you're not on the same level as a wife. Legally, you know what I mean? economically. Like you're not. I mean, maybe okay, you guys. He'll get a nice hotel. You guys can have sex, but then he's going back home to his wife in their house that he's paying for or that they're paying for. So it's like, yeah, I don't. To me, I'm like, I don't think side chick pick me is a thing. It's like an oxymoron. That's like saying, "Oh, you're drinking dehydrated water or something." Like, huh? How are you dehydrating yourself by drinking water? Like, that does not make sense to me. But like, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. We're gonna continue. That's it. That is the first time I've heard it. You know, that's interesting.
You know what I'm trying to say? They're proud. Don't know why. I'm sorry. They're proud of the fact that they're celebrated. Like I said, men fuel pick-me behavior and they fuel the competition between women. I recently saw Justin LA Boy post on Instagram, you know, oh my God, you know, yeah, you know, little booties be having men in love. Like little booties really be having us in love. They really be having us in love, you know, so that the little booty women can feel empowered to be like, yeah, you know, little booties really do be having y'all in love. And y'all, I better be act like they want big booty.
That's so you're saying be a she's saying don't be a side chick, be a prostitute. Oh my gosh. Y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna continue.
But they really want the little. These niggas be lying, okay? They be lying. Like I told y'all, little booty, like yeah, he gonna tell you that, like, like they lying. Like he's gonna tell you that. He's gonna big up your head, but again,
they do lie. Females
people
lie
will
too.
show you with their actions. I'll say that. People will show you
both sides lie.
Actions. When women find like the women that their guy cheated on them with, it's almost like a slap in the face because it's like, well, damn, like I would have never thought that she was his type. Most of them really don't have no type. No, they might marry a certain type, they might date a certain type, but attractiveness is attractiveness, and if he's attractive, he's attractive. Which is why I always say, I don't know what that man want. You gotta ask him. I want that on a shirt. I don't know what that man want. You gotta ask him.
Low key, I feel like most dudes have a type. I definitely, y'all tell me no. I'm not a guy though, so I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but like, I feel like guys generally have a type. Now, some guys just may be more open for it. You know what I mean? But like, especially if he gets to where he has more money or more resources and he can be more particular, I think guys definitely have a type. But look, y'all let me know if I'm wrong. You know, I'm not a guy, so I'm not going to pretend here and act like I know. This is just something that I've heard from different men personally, so I'm just repeating what I've heard, but y'all let me know. You agree, you disagree? So I see we do. Right, I have a type. Right. Okay, so let me continue this. We're gonna.
This one is the natural pick.
I'm almost done.
Honey, no. The natural pick-me's are almost the most savage. Like they're almost the most savage.
The natural
like,
pick-me.
And we're talking natural in terms of hair, makeup, even body and plastic surgery, right?
Interesting.
And here's my thing: if you're genuine about, you know, Black women embracing their natural hair and rocking our natural hair, you know, you'll say things like, you know, your type 4 crown is beautiful. You know what I'm trying to say? Nothing wrong with protecting your hair, but you know, let your hair out, let your crown show. Like Black women, you are beautiful, right? That's not pick-me behavior. A natural pick-me, yeah, because you know, y'all just be wearing weaves and wigs. Like, how y'all even put that stuff on y'all heads? Like, ain't no man, no woman with a wig. Oh, don't do that. And with makeup, oh my goodness. Like I was doing makeup before makeup was really like mainstream social media. And you would have a lot of women like, all I wear is mascara and lip gloss. Blistex and lip gloss is all I need. Like, I don't know how y'all cake all of that. Y'all just be caked up. Y'all be cake. But you eat cake every birthday. Ain't nothing wrong with cake. No, y'all just be leaving all y'all makeup on his shirts and saying that man coming to me to do his laundry. I'm gonna do his laundry because y'all just be putting makeup all over his clothes. Like, girl, like my man loves me natural like this. I don't know how y'all just wear all of that on an everyday basis. It's like, just say you can't do makeup and go. Just say you can't afford a cute wig and go. Like, don't say nothing at all and just go. Team Natural Body. Natural Body's still getting likes out here.
That's interesting. So, wait, I'm kind of confused. So, okay. So, like, okay. So here's the thing. That's funny. So basically, okay. So natural pick me, women who don't wear a lot of makeup at all. It's funny because she's saying this, I actually don't have makeup on right now. Women who wear their like natural hair. Okay. So I guess it's like women who talk about like being natural and their man still loving them is being a pick me. I'm trying to understand. I think at the end of the day, women compete with how they look, whether or not it's direct or blatant, or if it's indirect and passive. A lot of women compete based upon how they look. They will compete, they will compare wigs, lace fronts, edges, makeup, whatever. I mean, she even said, I think she's like a beauty blogger. I think that's like her thing. Like she got started with makeup. So she obviously knows a lot about it. But women compete definitely based upon that. And there are natural women who compete, and there are definitely women deep within the space who have a different hairstyle, a different wig, a different weave every single video or every single day. And they are definitely talking about it. Or even if they're not directly talking about it, they are passively saying comments about females, just like, ooh, girl, did you see her edges? Or ooh, girl, like, she don't even know. Look at her brows. Her brows are off, whatever it may be. So, I guess I'm trying to understand what she's saying. If she's just describing females who are petty, you will find natural petty women who will wear no makeup like I'm doing right now, have natural hair like I'm doing right now, or whatever, and be like, yo, y'all do too much. And you will find women who wear weaves, wigs, and sandals, you know what I mean? Like, and will still shame women who don't. So it's like, you're going to find petty on both sides. My personal opinion. So I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. Okay. Well, I'm almost at the end of this, y'all.
Men still want women with natural bodies. Like, is anybody natural anymore?
That's
all
true.
These fake bodies.
They do. I agree, they do. I mean, they will smash a chick.
And real talk. If the surgeries were 100% safe, and if she had the coin, guess who's gonna be going to get a new body? Okay. Oh, this makes me cringe. The tomboy. I'm not even gonna say tom. I'm gonna say the fake tomboy pick. The heterosexual woman, who says things like, yeah, I don't hang out with girls. Like, I can't hang out with females because females is just too catty. They they. And I just be looking like, says you a whole woman. You a whole lady out here talking about some they. But they want to other themselves. They want to make themselves seem better than other women. And for that them being better than other women, they prefer to hang out with men. Now here's a trick. Here's a thing I've learned, right? Because there are women who just naturally gravitate to masculine energy, and they are more comfortable, hanging around men, all day long. I know women like that, straight heterosexual women who are friends with the guys. But here's the difference. Those women, they just do it. They just hit up their bros and hang out with the bros. They just pull up to his house and play video games. They just sit on the bench outside and the guys is with them. They don't brag about it. Like, they don't brag about that. They just do it. They don't put down other women. They just do what they do. They just hang out with the guys. The pick-me's, they pretend. Those are the women who were not able to flourish with other women in friendships because they were the envious ones. They were the jealous ones. They were the backstabbers. They were the haters. They were the bitches. Like, they were the very things that they say, oh, I don't hang out with women because of this, because they. No, sis, you did those things. You're the reason why women don't want to hang out with you. It's not the other way around. It's you that men can find them more attractive and deem them as this perfect woman who should be chosen. Okay, a pick me will never hold men accountable. You know, when it comes to relationships, you have to understand it is work. It is work that both people have to partake in order for this to be successful. All right, I'm not gonna run myself into the ground cooking and cleaning and cooking and cleaning and cooking and cleaning. What about my life? What about my life? Miss something. I know it's more. There's more breeding grounds for pick-me's, but these are the ones that really just actually really grind my gears. A pick-me is not to be confused with you being a heterosexual woman who wants a good man and who understands, yes, I need to work on myself the same way that I'm working on myself. He needs to work on himself to be a good partner and a good, you know, husband, boyfriend, whatever, to you as well. It's both of us working on ourselves, being the best version of ourselves, so that when we meet our partner, baby, let's go, let's get it. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not woman, fix yourself, woman, do this, woman, do that, woman, do that, while he just sits back and plays video games all day. So that's pretty much all I had to say for this video. Again, we could probably do a part 2 because I'm sure there's some stuff I forgot. Comment like a pick-me down in the comment section. The best comment will be pinned. I'm looking, I'm ready. Share this video with a friend, a family member, honey. You know, I be coming through with the looks, the facts, the tea, and the comedy. Don't do that. She's funny, okay? But yeah, share this video. Make sure you are subscribed because sometimes YouTube will unsubscribe from my channel.
Okay, so I think that's basically it. Okay, so I guess that was interesting. There were a few things that I agreed with, like I said, her defining, I guess, well, at the beginning when she defined a pick-me as basically a woman who doesn't have any morals to the point to where she's willing to throw other women under the bus just to get a guy. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't necessarily condone that behavior of a woman just having normal, being backbiting people, like, because like I said, if you have that kind of character when you're trying to go for a dude and you get that man, you're gonna have that kind of character now when you are with him, when you are married to him or your girlfriend, whatever. And I'm like, what dude wants to be with a woman that doesn't have any good character? Like that is a recipe for disaster long term. So I completely agree with that. Now there's other things like I discussed where it's like I'm like, okay, we can, agree to disagree. I'm still trying to understand the whole natural pick-me, what that exactly entails, because like I said, team natural and team, wigs, weaves, and sandals are both hateful. I have seen hate on both sides. I've also seen side chick pick-me's. To me, that doesn't even make any sense because the definition of being a pick-me is a woman who's actually picked. So if you're a side chick, you are therefore not picked. You are a side to the main course, which is another female. So to me, I don't see that as even being a thing personally. That's just, that woman is just another side piece or another side chick. So I don't really fully understand that. I do not promote hoe culture, and I do not promote the sexual OnlyFans. I don't celebrate that. And I don't think we should celebrate it. And I don't think we should tolerate it. Now, I don't think those women should be shamed or just treated like they're garbage, because I don't think that that's helpful to that woman's psychology or just helpful to that woman, period. Because from what I've seen, right, many women who find themselves in that situation got there not because they wanted to per se, but because, a series of different events when they're just like, okay, this is the best option financially. But like I said, most women don't grow up being like, oh, I want to be a prostitute. Now, I know things are changing because in the era, like I said, of the whole culture, you do have young girls growing up being like, oh, I do want to be a stripper. So that's a whole separate conversation. But generally speaking, women didn't grow up wanting to be hoes or prostitutes. They kind of find themselves where they feel like, okay, well, this is the best option. So that's a whole other topic. But like I said, I don't promote that from multiple reasons. And especially, like I said, there is no way as a Black woman I can say, oh, I am for Black woman empowerment, and then say, oh, but also go have no sexual discipline. Go treat your body like, it's just a piece of property and have whoever ride it, whoever can pay you the most. You know what I mean? Like, treat yourself like you have no value to where anybody can have access to you for $1. Like, I don't see that as empowering. Black woman empowerment to me is like, okay, let's look at the different things that we have done historically. Let's look at where we came from. Let's look at what are the different things that we can do. What does it mean to have good character? What are the different traits and qualities that you have? What are your gifts and talents? Like, how can you, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, just thinking about development of character, maybe development of actual skills, developing how to maintain a family and a home, how to work together with a husband, how to raise up the next generation. Like the things that actually are required to build a healthy culture. To me, that is Black female empowerment. But promoting any kind of behavior that's going to lead to more single mothers, lead to STDs, lead to abuse, lead to lead to women being unprotected, being in situations where you are unsafe and you can be beat, that is not empowering. That is damaging. And like I said, the telltale sign is because when we see how we are viewed as Black women and we see the way other cultures position themselves and position their women, why is it that we don't have a Jewish Cardi B? Why don't we have a Chinese Cardi B? Why don't we have, you know what I mean, a Indian Cardi B? Why don't we have these other women who are right up there in the forefront, like the Lizzos and those kind of different people, twerking, doing strip culture? Like, why don't we see that across the board? Why isn't there a mixture? Why is it the Black women who are at the forefront of this? Why? Tell me why. Because these other cultures, they gatekeep their culture. They gatekeep the way that they are represented. There is money to be made off of us treating ourselves like hoes. And I'm not going to sit here and clap and be like, oh, good job, I'm not going to judge you. It's like, no, I'm not saying that you as a person, if you're in that, are a horrible person, but that behavior is wrong. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and act like it doesn't have negative repercussions or negative ramifications when it does. It is dehumanizing at best. You know what I mean? And like I said, if you talk to women who are actually into that, you can, I mean, there are certain women who legitimately believe that's the best that I can do. And if you believe that is the best that you can do, to me, that is a problem. Because anybody can lay down and have sex. That is easy. Anybody can do that. And if you think that if the best you can do is what everybody else can do, then it's like, really? You don't have anything special about you? Like, really? There's nothing else you can do? But anyways, so obviously I disagree with that vehemently. I have other videos that I've talked about this, and it's bad. It said, do you realize this behavior is passed on to children? Research epigenetic inheritance. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. It is. That's why it's like, what I don't know that people understand generally that, like, we are feeding into our own stereotypes. We've always had the stereotype of being sexually promiscuous, always. Even when we weren't considered humans, right? Even when we were just property, yet we still have that behavior, and everything from like the breeding farms, or Black women were put there to just produce children. And so that same perception now exists today, just in a different form or in a different way. And I'm like, and yet we're being told that I need to hand clap, celebrate it. I need to say, bravo, you're OnlyFans. Yay, you're empowering yourself. I'm like, are we crazy? Are the signs of tell me, is the signs of a healthy culture filled with single mothers, hoes, strippers, and prostitutes? Is that a sign of a thriving, healthy culture? Single mothers, you know what I mean? Single women, single men, hoes, prostitutes, people not having babies when they are having babies outside of a context of a family. Is that a sign of a healthy, thriving culture? No. Nobody can tell me otherwise. And if you believe it is, you have to show me historically where that has been the case and the culture has thrived. That has never been the case. So it's bad. Yeah, like I said, it's bad. And I don't think, to me, I don't think being a person that's just like, hey, I think treating yourself like a trash can is bad. I don't think that's being a pick-me. I think that's just calling a spade a spade. Me personally. But anyways, so we're on a tangent. But yeah, so that was, like I said, that was an overall interesting take. I mean, she touched on a lot of different topics there. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and look a little more deeply into some of her other topics, because she has a lot of different things that she touches on. Looks like she has some really interesting conversations and videos. So I'm excited to kind of learn a little bit more about, I guess where she's coming from. She seems to be really popular on the space. So that'll be a good exercise for me. Now, out the gate, we don't agree on everything, but like I said, it's you don't have to. I don't have to agree with everybody because I'm not God. I don't pretend to be perfect. I just wanted to see what this was about, and like I said, this video was shared with me, and we'll just give my honest take. So, anyways, those of you who were on, who hung out with me, I appreciate all y'all for coming on, and we're gonna do this again soon. Lastly, if you don't know, I'm going to be having a amazing collaboration with Danica Marie, Chantel Simone, and Reba TV this Monday. So definitely, y'all hit the notification button. We're going to have a good conversation. We're going to be talking about what modern women deserve. So definitely be sure to tune into that. Also, lastly, if you haven't already, please sign up to become a channel member. We are trying to get up to 300 members by the end of January so that we can start the Black Men Built That video series campaign. Because as many as y'all know, there is plenty of negative content out there talking about the many things that Black men have not done to the community in the way that they have damaged not only the Black community and this world. And so my desire is to start to talk about some of the different things that Black men have done, some of the different achievements and some of the different contributions they have made, so that we can actually have a more balanced discussion. Because y'all, I'm just tired of the propaganda. I'm tired of the one-sided looking at this from one point of view. We obviously know there are Dusties out there. We know there are Black men out there that have done horrible, damaging things. But we rarely, if ever, give light to the Black men who have done things, who continue to do things. We never talk about them. So again, if that is something that interests you, if you want to fight against this propaganda, if you want to fight against the idea that says Black men don't build, Black men don't read, Black men only love Becky, Black men have never contributed to society, Black men, they're not engineers, they're not they're not mathematicians, they're not inventors, whatever. If you want to actually hear the truth regarding that, sign up to become a channel member. My hope is to get enough support so I can start creating those videos, getting the message out there, and start to hopefully start a real honest conversation where we're not just hearing one side, we're not hearing the male bashing, but we're hearing the other side too. So let me know, y'all. Let me know also. Lastly, I see somebody asking, if you want to show some support to this channel, you can find me on Cash App or Venmo, Shay Sade. And I appreciate all of y'all for coming on. And we will talk later. Stay tuned. Bye.